This is CNN Breaking News.
All right, we do have breaking news, perhaps very important breaking news, stemming from the tension, the conflict in the Middle East right now. Israel launched ground incursions into Lebanon overnight, targeting Hezbollah, the terror group that operates inside Lebanon. We are getting a sense this morning that Hezbollah, which is a client of Iran, may be about to get assistance from Iran itself. I believe CNN's Arlette Saenz is ready at the White House for us. Arlette, the White House has new concerns about what Iran may be about to do. What are you learning?
Yes, John, a senior White House official is telling us that the U.S. believes that Iran may imminently launch a ballistic missile against Israel. I want to read you a quote that we have from a senior White House official who says the United States has indications that Iran is preparing to imminently launch a ballistic missile attack against Israel. We are actively supporting defensive preparations to defend Israel against this attack. A direct military attack from Iran against Israel will carry severe consequences for Iran. Now, this comes as U.S. officials had some concern that Iran might try to launch some type of a retaliatory attack against Israel in the wake of Israel's killing of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah on Friday. The U.S. has been in close coordination with Israel over the past few days, particularly zeroing in on their joint defense efforts. And various statements from the Pentagon have made clear that the U.S. would be ready to protect the interests of U.S. personnel as well as U.S. allies and partners if Iran or any of its proxies were to take steps to try to launch this type of attack against Israel. So we will see what exactly the U.S. is preparing to do in this moment. The Pentagon has stressed that they have significant capabilities in the region, including a carrier strike group. The U.S. has also made moves to try to increase the force readiness posture in the region to activate potentially if needed. But it does come as U.S. officials have been watching the situation with great concern and the possibility of an attack by Iran. Now, you'll remember that back in April, the U.S. actually led a multinational effort to try to defend Israel in the wake or in anticipation of some attacks from Iran. So we will see if there is a similar type of mobilization that goes into effect to try to intercept any type of missile that could be coming Israel's way. But this morning, we are receiving word from a senior White House official that the U.S. is preparing for the possibility of an imminent ballistic missile attack by Iran against Israel at any time.
All right, stand by for a second here. Just to give people a sense of the geography about what we're talking about here. Israel right here launched these ground incursions into Lebanon overnight, focusing and targeting on Hezbollah. What we're concerned about now, the White House is not return fire from Hezbollah and Lebanon, but this turning into a more regional conflict. Iran launching ballistic missiles into Israel. Now, as Arlette noted, this did happen once before. There was this exchange, frankly, between Iran and Israel, where Iran launched into Israel. Then the United States, with the Israelis, the Jordanians, the British, were able to repel almost all of those launches. Israel retaliated. Again, that was seen a little bit as a show. Both Israel and Iran, while they were firing at each other, showed some restraint. Arlette, if you're still with me, any sense whether the United States has concern this time that what Iran will try to do here is perhaps a more intense strike or a strike with the intention to target Israeli cities, maybe even Tel Aviv?
It's not exactly clear what the U.S. is expecting in this moment. All that we know is that they are saying that they believe that Iran will be imminently planning a ballistic missile attack against Israel. Now, it does come as you have heard U.S. officials really across the board stress their belief that there needed to be some preparations for the possibility of an Iranian attack against Israel in the wake of the killing of Nasrallah. You have seen the Pentagon talk about some of the capabilities that they have on hand to potentially respond or deter any type of attack. But it has just come as U.S. officials have been watching with this closely. They haven't detailed exactly what or where this Iranian missile attack might be heading, but it will be something that they will be trying to work with the Israelis to try to prevent if they can.
And to be clear, Arlette, the United States has had a presence in the region, carrier fleets that have been operating both in the Mediterranean, that at times down here or at times even in the Red Sea. There has been an effort by the Biden administration to position military assets in case something like this would happen, correct?
Yeah, and that is something that the Pentagon has been stressing over the past 2 days. They've said that they have significant capabilities in the region, specifically pointing out that they do have that carrier strike group. You also had just yesterday, they said that an unspecified number of troops from the U.S. have been preparing to potentially deploy if needed. So this is something where the U.S. could try to utilize some of their defense capabilities to try to help Israel defend themselves in this moment.
All right, let's stand by as we get more information from the White House. I want to go back to Tel Aviv. CNN's chief national security analyst Jim Sciutto is with us now. And Jim, the breaking news, new reporting that the White House has intelligence that Iran could be preparing a ballistic missile strike on Israel. The significance of that, what it means for the place that you're standing right now.
Listen, it's enormously significant. This is just the outcome, a direct conflict between Iran and Israel that, frankly, President Biden and other U.S. officials had been hoping to avoid. It's not unprecedented. Of course, you'll remember that in April, Iran launched dozens of missiles and drones towards Israel, which, we should note, the vast majority of which were shot down not just by Israel, but by U.S. forces as well as other partners in the region, including Jordan. So we have been here before, but for this to happen in the midst of what has become a multi-front war for Israel now, not just in Gaza, of course you now have Israeli boots on the ground in southern Lebanon, and you had a strike just in the last couple of days by Israel 1,500 miles away against Houthi rebels in Yemen as well. To add another front to that is really, it's extremely volatile, it's dangerous, and of course why I'm standing here would be a likely target. Now we should note that Tel Aviv has its own formidable missile defenses at several levels. Of course you talk about the Iron Dome, but you also have ones at higher altitudes intended for ballistic missiles, including what's known as David's Sling. So they have capabilities to defend, but the risk, the danger, the fear, John, is that Iran might attempt to overwhelm those defenses by firing a large number of missiles at the same time so that Israel could not shoot them all down, or Israel and its allies. It would be a significant escalation, and I think it's notable for the White House to say this so publicly right now.
So, Jim, obviously this is in response to what's happening inside Lebanon. Israel, of course, has conducted all these operations against Hezbollah leaders there over the last few weeks, ground incursions overnight. Hezbollah is a client of Iran. You have done significant reporting, not just in Israel where you are right now, but also here in Iran. What pressures do you think the new Iranian leadership is facing to respond to what's happening in Lebanon?
Listen, these proxy fighters, when you talk of Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthi rebels, these were built deliberately by Iran over many years to be means of projecting force in the region and targeting Israel. With these most recent attacks against Hezbollah, Israel has significantly depleted. It hasn't eliminated, but it's significantly depleted, at least for now, not just the leadership of Hezbollah, but it seems some of its firing capability. So that is a blow to Iran's influence, and this has been exactly the fear, including of U.S. officials, that as Israel escalates inside Lebanon against Hezbollah, that Iran might escalate as well and feel that to demonstrate its power, it needs to strike back. I mean, you have this. It's such a familiar game here. I mean, game's not a great word for it, yeah. but it's a constant testing of red lines. One side fires, the other has to reestablish a deterrence, as does the other, and you find yourself in an escalation ladder, which is exactly the outcome that so many in this region had been worried about.
Yeah, and the question is how much higher on that ladder will it all go? Jim Sciutto in Tel Aviv, the breaking news, CNN learning from the White House that it believes that Iran preparing a ballistic missile strike against Israel. Obviously, we will stay on top of this.